A series of racist text messages sparking widespread outrage and an FBI investigation as they invade the phones of many across several states, including here. And as the potential for storms hovers over Central Texas, we analyze Austin's risk for flooding while city leaders draw up a plan to keep people safe. But first, taking a live look now from Pease Park, just outside of downtown Austin, where you can see some dark clouds along with cool winds blowing through the trees. Those clouds are bringing the potential for some scattered showers and storms for parts of Central Texas. I'm here with Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon. So Nick, where do we think we're going to see the heaviest rain?
It looks like our eastern counties will end up with some of the highest rainfall totals later on today. Unfortunately, we think some of the more widespread rain is going to miss the Austin metro. There will be some spotty showers in the metro, but the hill country has been where the rain's been at so far. And then there'll be a weakening in the showers over the metro, as we're seeing now, and then a rejuvenation of downpours and storms in our eastern counties. You can see Marble Falls, Highland Furniture and River City Grill camera there as it is still raining. And we've had a good amount of rain in parts of the hill country, almost an inch in some spots. And you can see that's where the vast majority of our showers are now. I say showers and not thunderstorms because we have not had any lightning in these here in a little more than an hour. But there's still some locally and briefly heavy rain. There is Marble Falls. That was the view we just showed you there, right along 281. It is raining. Now, it's not going to stay dry for all of us in the metro. We're already seeing some spotty, mostly light showers working their way through Hayes County. These will eventually bring some brief light rain to the metro. We're also seeing a huge temperature drop as our cold front works through Central Texas. You can see 90s in San Marcos, yet 60s and 50s behind that rain-cooled air and behind the cold front. So quite the drop in temperatures. And in fact, if you haven't been outside in a couple hours and then you step outside, you're going to feel it. And with that comes gusty winds. We're seeing gusts in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range. So not everybody gets wet here this evening. Some showers and isolated thunderstorms here at 7. Same again at 9. Rain chances starting to drop a little bit here at 11. But coming up in first warning weather, we'll highlight that heavy rain risk that comes with a flash flooding concern for our eastern counties. We'll take you into the weekend and show you another cold front for next week.
Right, Nick, thank you very much. Well, more than 7,000 buildings in Austin and 400 roads are at great risk of flooding. That's according to the city's Watershed Protection Department. So how do we protect the people in that path? As KXAN's Grace Reader explains, there is some back and forth at City Hall over how to do that best.
After Austin City Council approved a resolution in May,
take a look at how can we make it easier for families to be able to afford flood insurance? How can we improve education around flood safety? And, how can we mitigate the risk of flooding events in our area?
The city's Watershed Protection District is back with some answers. First, on making flood insurance more affordable for lower-income homeowners. Austin City Council approved an $100,000 pilot program that could help with that.
We do want to assist them in some way in the short term, so we're not necessarily opposed to offering assistance, but it also has an unintended consequence of encouraging people to stay in a place where there could be flooding.
Next, bringing in extra help to boost Austin's community rating system, which can get you discounts on home flood insurance. The city says right when that resolution passed, they actually moved to a better rating, which allows up to a 25% discount for homeowners.
When they suggested like another full-time position, yes, we would of course take the resources. Also want to share that alone is not all of the needs. There are many things that we need to be doing.
And finally, the resolution also touched on early warning systems and educating the public on floods and insurance. The city laid out quite a few ways they've covered their bases on that front.
And I think the ask is essentially to see if they can do anything more for certain populations, certain people who are more impacted.
We can expect to have another significant flooding event in the near future. So what's important is that folks are informed and aware of where they can go for more information, how to ensure they themselves and their family are safe during flooding events, and then also just ensuring that folks are able to afford to be able to live in our city.
Grace Reader, KXAN News.
And we do have a link to that memo and an item-by-item breakdown over at KXAN.com. And we also have details on how you can prepare for floods with this story. Well, President-elect Donald Trump is working on filling his administration. He's chosen a woman to be his chief of staff, the first woman to ever hold that job. A number of Trump loyalists are in the running for other roles, but as NBC's Alice Barr reports, the president-elect is already facing pushback on his agenda.
As the incoming Trump administration starts taking shape, the president-elect naming his co-campaign chair, Susie Wiles, as the first female White House chief of staff, praising her on election night.
Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Ice Maiden, we call her the Ice Maiden.
And while the transition team weighs options for other cabinet roles, from members of Congress to Trump insiders, the current Justice Department is evaluating how to wind down the 2 federal criminal cases against President-elect Trump to comply with department policy against prosecuting a sitting president. Special counsel Jack Smith today asking the judge in the January 6th election interference case to pause the process for a month until Smith formally requests next steps. President-elect Trump has said he would fire Smith after taking office. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell says he is not going anywhere. With his term running until May of 2026, he was firm that Mr. Trump can't legally fire him.
If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
And in a phone interview with NBC News, President-elect Trump calling a strong and powerful border one of his top priorities, saying his administration would have no choice but to carry out his campaign trail promise of mass deportations of undocumented migrants, and that there is no price tag.
El pueblo unido.
Immigrant rights protesters in Manhattan pushing back, while the president-elect tells NBC News he believes he has a mandate to bring common sense back to the country. His election victory growing today as NBC News calls Nevada for Mr. Trump the latest swing state he flipped back in a decisive win. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And here in Texas, Trump won 242 of the state's 254 counties. Harris won 12. That is 10 fewer than President Biden won in 2020. And nearly every Texas county swung more toward Trump than 4 years ago, with only Kaufman County near Dallas and Loving County near Pecos swinging more than 5 points toward Harris. Though for context, Loving County only has a few dozen residents. If you would like to see how your county voted, we do have a map for you over at KXAN.com. The FBI is investigating racist and offensive text messages being sent to numerous people across the country. We told you last night the messages have also popped up here in Central Texas. Now, some of the messages falsely tell people that they're being deported or are being forced into slavery. One of the messages reads in part, quote, "You have been selected to pick cotton at the nearest plantation." Many receiving the texts are black men, women, and students.
Some messages included people's personal names. Other messages just started out with a greeting, saying that people will be enslaved and that there will be a bus coming to pick up people.
And local and federal law enforcement are looking into the messages. The FBI released a statement saying, quote, "The FBI is aware of the offensive and racist text messages sent to individuals around the country and is in contact with the Justice Department and other federal authorities on the matter." Coming up on KXAN News at 6, the superintendent of Austin ISD weighs in after some local students received these text messages. Well, police say they have arrested someone in connection with sexually motivated crimes at a San Marcos apartment complex. 31-year-old Patrick Mendoza is charged with burglary of a habitation with intent to commit other felony and sexual assault. Police believe he is connected to multiple reports they got on Halloween night of someone peeping into apartments on Mill Street and then breaking into one of them, touching 2 women inside. We've learned Mendoza is currently on probation in Bexar County for indecent exposure. San Marcos police say license plate recognition technology helped apprehend him. Austin ISD officially began a multi-year, multi-million-dollar modernization project for Travis Early College High School. Construction kicked off with a groundbreaking ceremony this morning featuring district leaders and some student performances. The $252 million project is funded by a 2022 bond. Here are some renderings of what it's going to look like. It's going to include some new flexible learning spaces, improved traffic flow, modernized athletic facilities, and expanded mental health and community areas.
It's an investment in our community. It's an investment for all these students. So really, really big deal. So proud of the work that we've done and so proud that our students get to really just enjoy this incredible investment the community gave them. And the project is expected to be completed in 2028.
Well, the season of giving has arrived, and if you're looking for a way to help those in need, Austin has plenty of opportunities for you to do so. Tomorrow is the second annual Turkey Trot at Del Valle High School. You can get in a good run while also helping feed hundreds of families and also raising money for toy drives. And also later this month, you can participate in the Austin Empty Bowl Project. On November 24th at the Central Texas Food Bank, you can pick out a ceramic bowl made by local potters and also enjoy some live music and a silent auction bid. And then all of the proceeds raised are going to go to the Central Food Bank's Kids Cafe and Meals on Wheels Central Texas. KXAN's Kelsey Thompson has details on how you can get involved in all of these over at KXAN.com.
And you can't forget the KXAN Friendsgiving Challenge continues as well. KXAN.com/Friendsgiving. You can donate to team mornings or preferably team evenings, with that donation going to the Central Texas Food Bank also. Well, we broke the record high today before the front dropped our temperatures. 89 was our high today, the previous record of 88, but look at the 60s and 50s taking over. We'll track the rain and storms for some of us this evening and the latest on your weekend in First Warning Weather.
Well, believe it or not, the final week of regular season is here in high school football, and we have a loaded slate of games. Playoff spots and district championships are on the line for many area teams, and our Noah Gross is at Vandergrift High School, where a district champion will be crowned. Hey, Noah.
Hey, Daniel. It's, I would say, almost chilly. I'm not proud to say I have goosebumps right now, more about kind of how we're feeling a little bit later. But first, you said it, Daniel, an incredible week to finish the regular season here. This one of the many really big games in the area. Vandergrift has already clinched a share of the district crown with undefeated so far in district play. Round Rock trying to claim their share. These two teams doing battle, really the cream of the crop here in this district here in 6A. Already kind of know where they're going to be in the postseason, but tonight sure means a lot to both of these programs.
I mean, I expect it to be rowdy. Like, I want it to be, sold out crowd. I mean, it's everything you work for. It's everything you dream of as an athlete, right?
Kind of go out there and shock the world for us. But I think it's going to be fun. It's obviously, everyone's going to have butterflies. It's going to be a big atmosphere. I'm going to love it.
It's going to feel like a playoff game. It's finally starting to get cooler, November's when football really kicks into gear. It's time to get real.
There's nothing like having a great opponent right before playoffs, so kind of a playoff tune-up.
Well, one of the players in there said it's starting to feel cooler. It's very cool, in part because of the wind. We were going to have our intern, who has much longer hair than me, come out and kind of show how windy it is, but unfortunately it just started to slow down a little bit here. As far as the football here, if we could focus on that for a second, this, as we said, one of the many big games. We'll have highlights of tonight at 10. Also, Bastrop and Liberty Hill competing for a district crown. They're both undefeated in district, and a lot of other area teams fighting for district positioning and a playoff spot as a whole. If you can't tell, we're fired up for it, and we'll have all the highlights for you tonight on KXAN at 10. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Noah, thank you very much. I'm glad Nick was able to accommodate you with the weather today. It is beautiful outside right now.
Oh, it feels great. I just wish Noah had longer hair so that we could see it blowing around here in the wind. That wind coming with a cold front, knocking the temperatures way down, but we still have some showers around as well. And in fact, those showers may organize themselves a little more as they head away from the metro into our eastern counties. But first, a look in High, where it's 58 degrees there in western Blanco County from the Covington Cellars camera. Certainly the cold front has already come and gone in that portion of central Texas. And out along it and ahead of it, we're getting still some scattered showers, nothing super widespread anymore. We had pretty widespread rain in the hill country earlier today, and now that front, while the front has arrived, the rain itself has weakened somewhat, as we told you about yesterday. Spotty showers moving through Hays County now. May bring a few little sprinkles to Travis and Williamson County, even though we're largely dry for the time being. And then you can see those scattered showers in the hill country will try to work their way a little farther east here. As they skip over the metro into our eastern counties, they're going to run into some much more humid air, and that will likely develop the downpours and storms more so than what we have out there now. So here's a rough approximation of where the cold front is, knocking our temperatures down even out ahead of it as that rain-cooled air surges east. And then here's what we're anticipating for this evening. Yeah, just spotty, mostly light showers for the metro, but our eastern counties could get a line of downpours and storms as we get, say, 7, 8 o'clock through about midnight or so. This is going to be very slow moving, and this could allow for some localized flash flooding in our eastern counties. Meanwhile, many of us wishing we had more rain. There could be some 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts in our eastern counties. For the rest of us, just a couple of spotty showers continuing past midnight. Here's 7 in the morning. If you're up that early here on a Saturday, there may be a few leftover drops, but the general idea of the day tomorrow is that we'll be drying out. So here's how much additional rain we could see, and you can see what I mean by those 1 to 2 inch amounts in our eastern counties, yet barely any additional rain for just about the rest of us. So I know you'll be disappointed. This was nothing like the rain that we had Monday night, but still there's more opportunities for wet weather ahead eventually, right? So there is that 2 out of 4 flash flooding risk for Milam, Lee, and Fayette counties, where some of those locally higher rainfall possibilities are later on this evening. So scattered showers and storms, with the wettest weather being east. Overnight lows dropping down into the 50s, even in Austin, which means some upper 40s in the hill country. We'll start off your weekend with a morning sprinkle, then increasing sun. We're up to 77. 80s on Sunday. Next rain chance not until next Wednesday, and it is a tiny one at just 10%. I know you probably felt the humidity in the air today. It is dropping like a rock right now, and it won't really get all that humid over the next few days, although the humidity starts to creep back into the muggy category by Tuesday. Then another front next Wednesday drops that humidity yet again. So not a lot of humidity over the next week, but a lot of reasonably comfortable air. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. There's that tiny 10% rain chance just for when you wake up tomorrow. Otherwise increasing sun, even more sun in 80s here Sunday, 80s Monday and Tuesday through Wednesday, with a low 10% rain chance. Wednesday as another cold front knocks those temperatures back into the 70s. Beyond the 7-day, our 8 to 14-day rainfall outlook does put us back in a wetter than normal pattern. That's from November 16th through the 22nd. So the possibilities return for some more rain.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. The husband of a missing San Antonio area mother is now charged with her murder. Brad Simpson is accused of killing his wife, 51-year-old Suzanne Simpson. The mother of 4 was last seen on October 6th. According to a police report, neighbors witnessed the couple arguing and then physically fighting. And then later, one neighbor said they heard screaming coming from a nearby wooded area. Suzanne's body has yet to be found. Still, investigators believe they do have enough evidence to proceed with the murder charge. The FDA announced it will move to pull popular cold medicine off store shelves due to a common ingredient it says doesn't work. Health experts have expressed the same concern and agree with the FDA's call. Phenylephrine is widely used in many over-the-counter medicines. The Food and Drug Administration announced a new proposal to remove products from stores with this common decongestant ingredient, pointing to studies that question its effectiveness. A final decision from the FDA would force manufacturers to remove products from shelves that contain oral forms of the ingredient, and that decision could come in May. Police are urging people in a South Carolina county to lock their windows and doors as they continue to search for dozens of monkeys that escaped a research facility. Video from Beaufort County shows what appears to be a group of primates running through a wooded area. Officials say 43 monkeys escaped a biomedical research facility Wednesday after a staff member failed to properly secure a door. Police say all the monkeys are very young females weighing between 6 and 7 pounds. The animals have been on the loose for about a day now. Staff are working to ensure a safe capture by enticing them back to the facility using food. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. 11 monkeys briefly escaped the facility back in 2022. Well, coming up tonight on KXAN, it's Happy's Place at 7 o'clock, followed by Lopez versus Lopez at 7:30. And then we have an all-new Dateline at 8 o'clock before we're back with KXAN News at 10.